Hey everybody, I just thought I'd make a short video. I just got off work, so got a few minutes here and just wanted to talk to you about a few things that were on my mind. First of all, I was listening to a conservative give a talk today, and it was on the internet, but nevertheless, he made a pretty sound judgment. He said that the Liberal Party, the Democrat Party, is intent on proving that the founders of our nation were corrupt and racist and hateful and murderers and so on and so forth. But their intent in doing that through their armed militia, Antifa and BLM and some of the other groups, I don't even know all of them, that are funded by George Soros and funded by the Ford Foundation and funded by some of these other kind of shady money organizations. Once they convince everyone in the public, they convince the average person that our founding fathers were corrupt and hateful and racist and so on, that they subjugated people, then by its very extension, our founding documents must also be hateful and racist and biased and have murderous intent. And if that becomes a public precept, then our entire system of government becomes hateful and racist and murderous and oppressive and so on and so forth. And of course, at that point, it has to be remade. And it has to be remade in their image because they're the ones that came up with this, right? And their image is Marxist, Leninist communism. And they say that well, it's a great idea, but it just wasn't done right before. But we'll do it right this time, and you'll love socialism. And when I look at some of the nature of the protests going on in Portland and Seattle and Chicago and some of these other places, and the real murder and mayhem and burning and looting, what I see in the main are children. And I see children that were educated by a system populated with communist professors and Marxists who were descendants of the Frankfurt School in 1936. They fled Germany. They came to Columbia University. They were widely accepted there. They began spreading the communist doctrine. They educated a generation of teachers who then went out to colleges and schools and spread the communist doctrine, and they're educating our children. So when you look at these videos of these young people protesting and looting and burning and beating each other up and beating innocent people up, you're seeing your own kids. Maybe not your kids specifically, but somebody's children, and they're the ones that are going to force a communist revolution in this country. It's already in progress, and you see it. They're still angry about the 2016 election. Grandma Nancy is still indignant about it. All the Democrats are indignant because Hillary lost. They've been trying to undo the 2016 election for almost 4 years now, and they intend to deny a fair election process to the president going forward. So I think we all are faced with some choices here, and we better make them. Do you choose civilization? Do you choose the greatest constitutional republic the world has ever known that's lifted more people out of poverty and done more for more people? That the principles of pre-governmental rights and God-given rights and the rights of the individual and the rights to property and ownership and the right to conduct your own life as you see fit and to speak freely and worship freely. Do you want to see that destroyed, and do you want to see that replaced with a communist system and a Marxist system a la Mao's China? And I mean, Nancy Pelosi's already been quoting Mao. Joe Biden quoted Mao when he said that, oh, women hold up 50% of the sky. Well, that's a quote from Mao's Little Red Book, and Joe thought it was an old Chinese proverb. And his son Hunter is still on the board of some Chinese communist corporation. Don't take what I say for gospel. Read for yourself. But I can tell you one thing. The Lord is probably starting to get pretty upset about all of this. I mean, he already knows. He's known since before the foundation of the world. But when you turn your back on God as a society, he will turn his back on you. And the Israelites proved that time and time again through the Old Testament and parts of the New Testament. We're doing it now. I mean, it's time to stand, folks. Stand for what's right. Stand for the only constitutional republic in 6,000 years. And as And as Daniel Webster said, hold on to the Constitution with all your strength, my friends, and to the republic for which it stands. For miracles do not tend to cluster, and what has happened once in 6,000 years is not likely to ever happen again. If we lose the liberty that the Lord Jesus Christ has given us, if we turn our backs on those gifts, they will never ever be recovered. And I'm telling you right now, we're in very grave danger of losing what precious little liberty we have. Stand for something, stand now. Form small groups in your community, go door to door, convince your family, convince your church, convince your pastors. Everyone has to vote, everyone. And everyone had better be prepared to stand for what's right, or you will fall. And if we don't hang together, we will most assuredly hang separately at the hands of these violent children and these Marxist-Leninists that populate our state's capital and populate our national capital. So be prepared. Form small groups in your community, call them safety committees, call them militia, whatever you need to call them, I don't care. Learn first aid, learn communication, learn how to band together and talk about liberty. Is this important to you? Is it important in your lives that your grandchildren have the liberty that your fathers gave you? If it is, you better stand. And if it's not, do nothing.